Welcome to StarCard Podcast. Here at StarCard Podcast, we get a glimpse at the age of Aquarius ahead of us. We also examine the worlds of education and workplace ethics. My name is Breakaway Ray. I like talking about the breakaway civilizations because we're breaking away from the one we're in now. You've tuned in to a live tarot throw. Today is November 9th, 2025. I have your tarotlogical forecast just ahead. I want to show you the tarot decks that we're using today. As usual, we have the classic tarot deck, the cards that have all the words on it that help me out because I'm still learning tarot. I only started in March. I also have today the neon deck. The rest of these decks do not have words on them, so I'll have to be a real tarot card reader and know my stuff. I have one of the fan favorites here, the black foil deck. Those of you who know about this one, I'm pretty sure you're going to request it. So if you'd like to request a reading for the second part of the show, please type in the chat, tarot please, in all capital letters, and that's the easiest way for me to see that you want a reading. If you hit the top fans button, I'm going to automatically presume that you want a tarot reading in the second part of the show. But this first part of the show is your tarotlogical forecast. And then after that, we'll be talking about a book called On Tyranny by Timothy Snyder. We're going to invite the tarot world to comment on the book and the ideas that we discuss. I know when I say we discuss, it's a monologue. I talk, you listen. Kind of like the classroom. And then, there's always a question and answer period. If you have a question, you could put it in the chat. Meanwhile, everyone, I know what you're waiting for. You want the tarotlogical forecast. We're going to throw a pair of cards for each day of the work week, and we're going to see if there's a story there to help us have a good week on those days. So let's go to the tarot cam. Nice. Let's see if we can throw some light on the subject here. Bravo. All right. So I told you about, the decks that are in the bullpen, the black foil deck, the neon tarot deck. They're available if anyone is interested. Right now, we're going to move them aside. As I mentioned, I'm still learning tarot. So I'm going to go with the deck that I was learning tarot with at the beginning. It's the Robin Hood Tarot. And I'm training myself, so I have to get used to these images. There is a guidebook on the inside just in case I need to check it. It's a very good guidebook. All right, so let's get it started. I have your 5 days of the week. I've actually shuffled this deck already in order to save time. So we're going to start throwing the cards right now. Top card, first card for Monday. We're going to take the last card, put it here for Friday. And now let's fill in the middle. We'll take one here for Monday. We're looking for fun, helpful messages, please, to help us through the work week. At any time, whenever someone sees this recording, let's get 5 helpful messages. Show us some dynamics and coach us on how to best handle it. I know it has a lot to do with following our intuition and going with the flow, behaving like water. I'm going to eventually find that book on my bookshelf that talks about that. It's one of the ancient Asian classics. All right, we'll save that conversation for another day. Here are your 5 sets of stories for the work week for November 10th, 2025. Let's have some fun. Here we go. We have, timeout. Got to get my glass. Lovely. We have the Queen of Cups and the Fool. So remember that the Fool is at the very beginning. He is an optimist. He's got blind faith and he trusts in the universe. That's a great way for all of us to start out the week. And not only that, check it out. We got the Queen of Cups, and the Queen of Cups is like having a hug from grandma. You have everything in order, and there's no need to feel anything but love. Everything's balanced. Everything's groovy. I think that's a great way to shape our attitude as we go into the work week on Monday. It's a fresh new work week. Nobody really cares about what happened in the past. We only care about what's going on today. So let's just move on and do the best we can in the moments that we have, because we're already off to a good start. We got everything going for us. I love it. Here we go. Thank you. There's your Monday message. And now for Tuesday. we have the Nine of Pentacles and the Eight of Wands. I'm sighing some relief to myself because I know about the cards and I I don't need to look at the words. But the Nine of Pentacles is the fruits of your labor card. And then the Eight of Wands, I really like that image where it's flying through space like that. You know that's going to appeal to Breakaway Ray. The Eight of Wands talks about travel and flight. So maybe, you've been saving up for something and now you can take a special trip or you can start planning it. You can go online and check it out. You have the resources to make it happen. But at the same time, the Eight of Wands also says soon. So maybe you'll enjoy the fruits of your labor soon. Maybe that's how we have to think about work on Tuesday. You're not going to see overnight results, but maybe by the end of the week, we can count on resting on the fruits of our labor, resting on our laurels, I should have said. We'll see the fruits of our labor soon. We can trust that. The universe is telling us that. Okay? We could see that coming. And when we put these two messages together, it's a promising new beginning. We got a lot of good things going for us. We're going to see some results by the end of the week for sure. Wednesday. Sweet. It's the Two of Wands and the Ace of Cups. All right. This is definitely like work week related because you're talking about the Two of Wands and he's the guy that's got the plans and he's also got the green light from the universe. The universe likes his plans and says, you have the green light, go. And then check it out. What is he going for? The Ace of Cups. It's like a marriage. It's like a new life. It's like a fresh start. So, have plans for Wednesday. We talked about seeing the fruits of your labor soon. You might be just cashing in right there, and it might be like a stepping off point into an even brighter, more exciting work week. I hope so. I'm trying to be inspirational. Let's see what happens on Thursday. I love it. It's let me see if I got this right here. I'm seeing the Three of Pentacles and the Magician. The Three of Pentacles. I might go to the book on the Three of Pentacles. Oh yeah, that's teamwork and collaboration. And then the Magician obviously is talking about magic. Someone's having a good work week if you're watching this StarCard podcast, because now it's on Thursday and you're making magic with everyone on the team at work. Cool. Maybe you're bringing in treats for Friday at break time. That sounds like a good plan. That's going to make everybody happy. All right. But then, maybe in February before I knew tarot, this might be spooky for me. And maybe if it was October still, I might be spooked by this. So for Friday, we have the cards, the Five of Cups, the disappointment card. And then we have the Death card, which indicates changes, endings, and beginnings. But let's just say, if you're enjoying the imagery here of these two figures, Death and the Five of Cups guy, well, then let's look at it like this. We're going to turn it into something inspirational. It's Friday. It's the end of the work week. It's the end of the work week. I'm so sad. I kind of want to take my work home. We were doing so good this week. Well, save it up for next week, everybody. All right, just remember that feeling on Friday. You can always go back. You can have some more next week. All right, great, everybody. Thanks a lot. That was a lot of fun. Thanks to the Robin Hood Tarot deck. And I'm going to give them a little shuffle, and then we'll go back upstairs and talk about Timothy Snyder's book, which I haven't talked about, I don't think, until or since February of 2024. February 2024, I was on the Typical Skeptic podcast talking about that book. All right, let's go upstairs. Here we go. All right, I'm more comfortable with that. And got to say, the studio looks pretty good back there. It's going to be dawn pretty soon, so I'm going to get sunlight. Anyway, let's go with the flow. Everything's groovy here. So I want to show you this book. It's called On Tyranny by Timothy Snyder. And I'll tell you a little bit about why I picked this book off my shelf today. I was thinking, well, what shall I discuss when I turn on the camera today? And I was coming back from my hike and I was getting ready. And I'm all right. I did the Tarotlogical Forecast. That's cool. And then I said, well, should I go back to Marcus Aurelius? Remember, Marcus Aurelius says, gratitude is the parent of all virtues. And, and everyone always says, like, when you want to manifest something, you want to do something magical, you start with gratitude. You appreciate what's around you, what the universe has brought you, and that aligns your soul better to make the magic more powerful. But I couldn't find the Marcus Aurelius book. But I did spot this one. This is for editing. But I did spot this one. So on Tyranny, 20 lessons from the 20th century. The first thing I want you to notice is it's barely bigger than my hand. Okay. So I'm trying to appeal to people. Maybe you're born in the 21st century and you're not accustomed to reading books the way your parents and grandparents were, perhaps. Everyone reads things on tablets and computers and things. I understand that. I read The Man with Periwinkle Eyes all on the computer. I want to thank John Whitberg for uploading a free version for everybody. It benefits everybody who reads it. It benefits the whole society. It floats up everyone's boat. It lifts everyone up. Anyway, congratulations to Mr. Whitberg. Nevertheless, we're going back to On Tyranny here. It's an easy read. Timothy Snyder is actually like an Ivy League professor. He could have overmatched the reader with vocabulary if he wanted to, but he makes things very clear. Now, I might be picking out the most challenging part of the book to share with everyone today. There are 3 paragraphs about our views on history going forward and backwards. Okay, so I might have chosen the hardest part of the whole book, but I am going to read to you the chapter titles so that you get an idea what this book is about. All right, so how do I want to do this? I'm going to go back downstairs. Here we go. And we'll give you something to look at besides me looking at the book. But I will read to you the table of contents, the 20 chapter titles. Here we go. Where's that glass? 1, do not obey in advance. Number 2, defend institutions. Number 3, beware the one-party state. Number 4, take responsibility for the face of the world. Number 5, remember professional ethics. Number 6, be wary of paramilitaries. Number 7, be reflective if you must be armed. That applies in the United States. Number 8, stand out. Number 9, be kind to our language. Number 10, believe in truth. 10 more chapters, everybody. Number 11, investigate. Number 12, make eye contact and small talk. Number 13, practice corporeal politics. Number 14, establish a private life. Number 15, contribute to good causes. Number 16, I really like this one, learn from peers in other countries. Number 17, listen for dangerous words. Number 18, be calm when the unthinkable arrives. Number 19, be a patriot. And number 20, be as courageous as you can. Some of the chapter titles that stand out to me include Chapter 6, Be Wary of Paramilitaries. Another one is number 16, Learn from Peers in Other Countries. And number 17, Listen for Dangerous Words. As someone who lives in the United States and cares about it and loves my country very much, yeah, those last 3 chapter titles, I think, apply. We have something going on that resembles a paramilitary. We do need to listen carefully to the words that we're hearing from our leaders. And remember that this book is lessons from the 20th century. And if you think about Central Europe during the central part of the 20th century, there was a country where a paramilitary was established, and some of the same words that were used by the leaders there are some of the same words we're hearing nowadays in the United States. So hopefully, when I read to you what I think is pages 116 and 117, let me check. Oh, I didn't write it down. I will look it up for you. When I read to you 3 paragraphs from this book, it'll color in the rest of those statements. You know, we need to recognize what has already happened. If we think it can't happen again, okay, that's exactly when the whole thing starts over again. What is that famous saying about history? If we don't learn our lesson, we're doomed to repeat it. So I guess I'm going to go right to the book again, and we're going to read 3 paragraphs just to give us something to think about. And then we'll invite the tarot world to see if there's anything that we missed in my monologue, my little riff this morning on Sunday morning. All right. So I'm going to go back downstairs. And you can see I have my my turkeys all ready for the tarot throw in a moment. I'm getting the lights on here. Yeah, I pulled this book off, and there was only one page in the whole book that had a bent corner. Again, something I rarely do. So I looked at it again, and now I realize why I folded that page down. And get ready. I'm going to share 1, 2, 3 paragraphs with you, and you'll see for yourself. It's an easy read, and it's a good education for everybody. All right, just a moment, please. I want to. There we go. All right. All right, I'm starting on page 118. I almost had it right. Page 118. And he is addressing other people in the United States of America. Until recently, we Americans had convinced ourselves that there was nothing in the future but more of the same. The seemingly distant traumas of fascism, Nazism, and communism seemed to be receding into irrelevance. We allowed ourselves to accept the politics of inevitability, the sense that history could move in only one direction, toward liberal democracy. After communism in Eastern Europe came to an end in 1989 through 1991, we imbibed the myth of an end of history. In doing so, we lowered our defenses, constrained our imagination, and opened the way for precisely the kinds of regimes we told ourselves could never return. To be sure, the politics of inevitability seem at first glance to be a kind of history. Inevitability politicians do not deny that there is a past, a present, and a future. They even allow for the colorful variety of the distant past, yet they portray the present simply as a step toward a future that we already know, one of expanding globalization, deepening reason, and growing prosperity. This is what is called a teleology. I'm going to spell that for everyone. Teleology, Teleology. This is what is called a teleology, a narration of time that leads toward a certain, usually desirable goal. Communism also offered a teleology promising an inevitable socialist utopia. When that story was shattered a quarter century ago, we drew the wrong conclusion. Rather than rejecting teleologies, we imagined that our own story was true. The politics of inevitability is a self-induced intellectual coma. So long as there was a contest between communist and capitalist systems, and so long as the memory of fascism and Nazism was alive, Americans had to pay some attention to history and preserve the concepts that allowed them to imagine alternative futures. Yet, once we accepted the politics of inevitability, we assumed that history was no longer relevant. If everything in the past is governed by a known tendency, then there is no need to learn the details. The acceptance of inevitability stilted the way we talk about politics in the 21st century. Well, I ended up reading more than I wanted to. Hope you enjoyed that part. And now we're going to invite the tarot world to give me a hand in understanding what we just talked about, being individually responsible for our participation in government and society. That does involve being intellectually aware, and that's kind of hard in a world where there's a bunch of mind control and our media, the mass media is owned by like a couple of people, and it's definitely under control. So we're inviting the tarot world to give us a little helpful clue as to how we should proceed forward. All right. So, I mean, we all kind of knew all these things. We already understood these facts in the first place about how we can't get straight information. That's why we go to the internet. That's why we're listening to you, Breakaway Ray, on the StarCard podcast. So, any ideas on how we should proceed? What are we supposed to do about it? Well, I think reading that book by Timothy Snyder is a start. He puts into language basic steps and lessons that we should have learned already so that we can all focus on what we're looking for now. It helps clarify an obfuscated political environment. All right, Tarot World, now it's your turn. Give us a hand, give us some pointers on avoiding tyranny. Are there proactive steps that we can take to guard against tyranny? Is it beyond our control? Or is it like one of the laws of karma that everyone is responsible for their actions? Help us out, Tarot World. Yeah, we'll give you 8 cards. That sounds good to me. Thank you very much. Here we go. This is for entertainment purposes only. I'm enjoying seeing the text in the chat. It's very lively. I haven't read it yet. I'm going to read it after the show. But I'm glad that we have some friends here to have a good time with me. Let's get started. We're talking about viewing history backwards and forwards, and what do we do about it? We're talking about Timothy Snyder's concept of the politics of inevitability. Here we go. So the Three of Pentacles, we just saw this card in the last deck. Three of Pentacles talks about starting a new project and collaboration with others, kind of like what we're talking about, learning from our neighbors in other countries, using the internet to our advantage, communicating with one another, staying on top of things. Okay, next up, cool. I'm going to say I think that the tarot world is totally on it. We're starting with the King of Swords, the master of truth. We've got to cut through, like we mentioned earlier, the clouds that prevent us from seeing what's going on. And that involves talking to one another and working together. Eye contact and small talk, as Timothy Snyder just said in his book. You know what? His book is small enough where I should be able to fit this on the table too. There you go. All right, there you go, Professor Snyder. Okay, so the King of Swords reads, head over heart. Yeah, that's right. We got a problem with that in the United States, don't we? I mean, I imagine it's that way around the world, but head over heart. Come on. Let's all get a hold of ourselves, everybody. Disciplined, truthful, honest, mental clarity, authority. All right. I know the tarot world is here with us, but it also feels like we're getting a lot of help from Timothy Snyder himself. Let's see what's going on tyranny. Justice, law, cause and effect. More of the same things we just discussed when we read Mr. Snyder's words. Oh, dude, this is going to get a replay. Judgment. How do you like it when justice and judgment show up right next to each other and everyone knows what Breakaway Ray has on his mind? So judgment talks about swapping out old energies and bringing in new energies. And I'm going to say, when you're looking at the angel on the judgment card, blowing that horn, you know, that's like a whistleblower for one. And that's another one who's like spreading the news. Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. Let's listen up to what's going on while we still got the First Amendment. I ought to just quit while I'm ahead, right? But no, we got a half a show of a throw here to go. Nice. It's the Empress. Well, yeah, we had the Empress just a moment ago. Remember, the Empress is the feeling like you're getting a hug from grandma during the holidays. I'm going to read what it says. But again, this is a great position to be in. So we can't think to ourselves, what can we do about it? I'm just one person. No, We're being told that we all have a great start here. Again, the internet is a big help. Think about it. Many people communicate to each other every day across many platforms over many channels. This is unlike what we had just 20 years ago, for sure. Let's read what it says on the Empress card. Let's see how cool we got it. Abundance, nurturing. Oh, well, yeah, we're being guided to do this. Great. Fertility, feminine, good parenting, development, accomplishment, growth, and evolution. It's kind of like mom is visiting us at college, and she's cleaning up the dorm room for us, and she even brought us like some gift cards and some extra clothes. Wow, that was really nice, Mom. Maybe our birthday's like on Thanksgiving and we couldn't get home for college, but Mom says, no way, I'm going up to see my baby. I'm taking care of that kid. Yeah, way to go. So we're being taken care of is what I'm trying to say. We got everything we need. The universe is putting us in the right position right now. It's a golden opportunity for us. That's what the cards sound like at Star Card Podcast. Everything's inspirational. And then this card comes along. The Three of Swords talks about heartache. Yeah, well, there's probably going to be some drama when we're talking about tyranny, right? But when that shows up, the King of Pentacles could have like mixed meanings here. I'm going to go ahead and read the next two cards before I comment on the King of Pentacles, who's like the rich guy. Wow, the Two of Wands again. The one who has good plans, the one whose plans are approved by the universe, the one who hears a message from the universe, you have the green light, go. Wow. And then the World comes up to finish the whole drama. We start now as a team, communicating, educating ourselves on what's for real, and then holding to the rule of law. I mean, we have justice and judgment right here. We're in a great position if we show integrity, because in case there's some kind of very powerful heartache involved, we'll have a good plan and the world will be delivered to us. The meek shall inherit the earth. Tarot world, that was so classy. Thank you very much. I hope everyone gives Timothy Snyder's book a read. Thank you very much, Tarot world. Let's give these cards a shuffle, and we'll go back upstairs and say hi to people in the chat. We'll make a list to see who wants a reading. And then I think I have a couple of I do have a couple of other announcements to make. Here we go. You know I always have notes. All right. Well, I'm going to look at my notes, so I'm going to turn on the light here. Here we go. Not so terrible. Okay. So over at StarCard Podcast, there's a section called Playlists. And I want you to know that we developed a new playlist over the weekend. It's called John Whitberg Speaks. And our friend Julia Anchorhaven, who I think is in the chat right now, I invite Julia to put her link in the chat. By the way, Julia, so I'm interrupting myself to talk to Julia. By the way, Julia, I hope you caught our episode a week or so ago. It's called Julia Palooza. Anyway, I'll catch up with you. I'll send you an email or something. Nevertheless, back to John Whitberg. I had a chance to speak with John Whitberg and Julia together. We had a nice video premiere last week, and I went ahead and broke it up into, I think, like 5 or 6 chapters. So I did put a link to a StarCard podcast called Godzilla Planet. I mean, there's a lot of fun ones, but I took Godzilla Planet and I put that in our description today, so you could check that out. There's also other playlists. So let's remember there's Camp Breakaway from August. So all the live podcasts from all the live tarot throws from August. And then the ones in September were School-tember. That's another folder. And then there was Sci-tober. So in case people are like saying, I can't get enough Breakaway Ray. What did I miss? Because anytime you watch my tarot throws, it's good for whenever you see it. So you might as well go back and see what you missed. Maybe there's another bit. Maybe there's another bit. Maybe there's another bit of comedy you can catch from a previous show. I bet there's people out there saying, I want to make sure I get through all these so I can build on and catch up and follow along. How about that? I created a serial program. I know I do the same thing with some of the podcasts that I look at. I go back in time too. One of those things that I did do is I went to Seth Meyers Corrections. So I've seen all Seth Meyers Corrections. Anyway, back to my notes. There's going to be a new folder coming out soon with there's going to be a new folder coming out soon, a new playlist with psychic, in addition to Psychic Liz Cross. So right where you see the John Whitberg speaks, you see Psychic Liz Cross appears. One of those is just Psychic Liz Cross in the chat, but that still counts. It was a great cameo. We love it whenever we see Psychic Liz Cross. What a fun lady. So there's some new work coming out that you'll get to see soon from Psychic Liz Cross and Breakaway Ray and all my mystery guests. Okay, next. I did, and I did everything I said I was going to do with Timothy Snyder's book. Great. So now I'm going to turn the paper over and make some notes. Let's see who wants a reading. I believe I saw Arizona Raven. Hello, Arizona Raven. Thanks a lot for showing up. I'm writing your name down. Okay, and then number 3. I got that one. Missing Time 420. Hi, Jason. Missing Time. Get that written down there. Yeah, Jason. I still haven't seen that that show with Anthony Mackie, but I did get the link. I just haven't looked at it yet. I know you know what I'm talking about. Let's see. Yeah, the Altered Carbon. I haven't seen it yet. Can't wait. It's going to be cool. All right, next up, let's see. I see Tiger Dragon JK. Hi, Tiger Dragon. I like your tree also. Thank you very much. I'm still checking to see who wants a reading. If you write in all capital letters, I'll see it right away. Yeah, I got Arizona Raven. Okay. And then number 1, missing one. Yeah, that's Jason. Got him. Oh, there's Nin Holland. Hi, Namira. I'm writing you down. Good. Let's see if there's anyone else I'm missing. Hi, Heavenly Cups. I see your name. I'm just saying hi. Thanks for joining us today. Oh, Heavenly Cups. I'm going to write your name down. I see you want a reading. Great. Hi, Ascending Universal Butterfly. All right. Hello, Puck Elf. Good morning or good day to you, wherever you are. I mean, I know where you are, whenever you are. Right on, Puck Elf. Thanks for joining us again. Let's see. Ascending Universal Butterfly. I'm going to write you down. Just give me a moment, please, to finish writing down Ascending Universal Butterfly. Almost done. I'm just kidding. Okay, let's see. Tiger Dragon, I did not see it, so I'm glad you made a message. Yeah, Tiger Dragon, I'm going to write you down. Good job, Tiger Dragon. JK. Cool. Let me see. Oh, Heavenly Cups, you're Silent Dreamer. Hi, Silent Dreamer. It just goes to show how psychic I am, right? Okay. Hey, everybody. I've got these names down, and I've got plenty of time. So if someone else wants a reading, you just put it in the chat, and I'll try to stay caught up. We got a lot of friends in the chat who always help me out in case I miss someone. I apologize. Every once in a while, it gets by me, but that's very infrequently, right? So here's my list of readings. I got Arizona Raven, Jason at Missing Time 420, Nin Holland, Namira, Heavenly Cups, Silent Dreamer, Ascending Universal Butterfly, and Tiger Dragon JK. All right, so let's start with Arizona Raven. Well, you know what? I will start with Arizona Raven, but I'm going to step aside for a moment to grab a cup of tea. Excuse me. All right. Thank you. What am I looking at there? All right, Arizona Raven. Hey, everybody. Thanks for the quick breather. Thank you, Ascending Universal Butterfly. Now I don't have to say it. What she said in the chat, everybody. Here we go. Arizona Raven. She's in the same time zone as me. All right, Tarot World. How about a fun, inspirational message for our friend Arizona Raven, please? Thank you. These cards are for Arizona Raven. Oh. These are for Arizona Raven. A fun, inspirational message for Arizona Raven, please. All right. Let's see what happens, Arizona Raven. This card came out separately in a way, so why don't we throw it first? 8 of Pentacles, diligence, hardworking. Let's get that 8 of Pentacles read to you. Diligence, passion, high standards, apprenticeship, mastery, skill development. It feels like this is an aspect of your personality. You're never resting on your laurels. I know I used that expression earlier. You know, you're always striving to be better, and it doesn't matter how much better you get. You know, there's no reason why everything can't be perfect. There sure seems to be a lot of imperfection around. That doesn't mean we should give up. You know, you have to approach the ranch every day with the same quality intent to make sure that everything goes smoothly. And that's, I imagine, the way you perceive life. I got to treat everything like it's all part of the system. You know, everything's got to fit into the day. Everything is valuable and important, and everything can be improved upon and maintained. So let's see what the rest of the tarot cards have to say. According to Breakaway Ray, the Page of Swords talks about a new way of communicating, new ideas, a thirst for knowledge and curiosity. This also sounds like Arizona Raven, who, you know, we're all aware, visits the Typical Skeptic Podcast and has for many years. So she is definitely a curious person. Look at this. Where there's an 8 of Pentacles, there's a 7 of Pentacles. The 7 of Pentacles, this guy actually works on a ranch, right? He's like making sure that the vegetables in the garden are growing, and he's doing a great job. The 7 of Pentacles, long-term view, hard work, perseverance, diligence, sustainable results. Next up, lovely, it's the World card. Yeah, when you communicate and work hard, and you know you're passionate about it, you have the world as your oyster. Here is the World card. Completion, accomplishment, wholeness, attainment, fulfillment, celebration of life. For sure. If everything's going groovy, you know, you keep it going. Wake up the next morning, do it again. All right. Here's the 5 of Cups card. The 5 of Cups guy is always looking at the disappointed part, but let's not forget, you know, there's good things behind him. You know, he's just got to turn around and stop focusing on the negative. Well, I'm imagining if Arizona Raven was there, she'd pick up the cups, and then she'd be grateful for the cups that were already there, and then she'd move on through the ranch, over the bridge, and move on to the next project. Wow. How about some more cups for you, Arizona Raven? I'm laughing because I was on my hike today, and I'm all, dude, that 4 of Cups card is so complex. I hope I don't see it today. So you have this guy. He's paying attention to the disappointed part. You know, that I don't know. I'm just pretending ranch language here. You know, there's that post in the fence that I still haven't fixed yet. And then it feels like I'm not getting enough help from everybody. But no, the universe is giving you everything that you need. And then check it out. You get back up on that horse and you ride some more. And talking about hard work, the Knight of Pentacles, hard work, productivity, routine, efficiency, responsibility. It doesn't matter how good or bad things go. You got to get back up on that horse. You've demonstrated it every day of your life. Hey, Arizona Raven, I hope you like my little farmhand story here. Thanks again for tuning in. I appreciate having you here. All right. Next up, it's Missing Time 420. So now I guess I got to go with the TV studio analogies. All right, Jason. How about a fun, helpful message for Jason? I know it's always fun reading for Jason. And the tarot cards look like they're in a particular groove today. Can we please have a fun, helpful message for Missing Time 420? Here we go. These cards are for Jason. These cards are for Jason. Missing Time 420. Here we go, Jason. Let's see what happens. Probably get a good laugh out of it. Here we go. Starting with justice, cause and effect, law. Let's see if there's other fun terms on here. Fairness, equality, balance. Next up, the Knight of Swords. I wonder if the tarot world's like drawing pictures of people today, because, you know, we're talking about balance. And then at the same time, I know you are an energetic person. You know, you may come off as calm, cool, and collected because you are. That doesn't mean you can't be passionate as you pursue your beliefs and what you believe in. Cool. This also makes me think of you, Jason. Of course, I know nobody. I can't even recognize people from the names they put in the chat. But but anyway, you have the Three of Wands there, and the Three of Wands guy is the one who has foresight. He's the one that says luck is where preparation meets opportunity. You know, you go out and you get that extra credential, that extra certificate, and then somewhere down the line it's going to pay off. You know, it's kind of like, you know, especially if you're a young person, I encourage you to learn Spanish if you don't know Spanish yet, because by the time you get older, you know, if there's a choice between someone who also knows Spanish, you know, they're going to pick the person who also knows Spanish. You'll get the job for someone who's monolingual. And I know none of our friends in Europe understand that dynamic, because everyone in Europe, they always study at least one or two other languages besides their home language right when they're in elementary school. So they're all polyglots by the time they're 15 years old. Okay, next up, Jason. How about some more wands? Seven of Wands, overcoming obstacles. You have the high ground. Yeah, here you go, Jason. It's the Sun card. I always like reading all the terms on the Sun card because that's good news. The Sun card, positivity, pleasure, happiness, vitality, fun, joy, warmth, celebration, success, rebirth, all is well. You know, if you look at this Seven of Wands guy, he kind of looks like he's having fun. And, you know, me being a teacher, I'm thinking, you know, you think the day is pretty, you know, to anyone else, it's like 1 against 6 people, but you're saying, no, I got the higher ground. I'm better prepared. I can overcome the obstacle. And to me, it's just like recess time. Everything's fine. We're just having fun. That's the way life is. I'm enjoying it every day. And then check it out. Here comes the Death card, talking about transformations and endings and beginnings. But everything's going to be fine. And there's going to be a happy surprise. I don't even need to comment. Everything's fine. There's going to be a change. Here comes a happy surprise. Time to dig your hand down into that Cracker Jack box and find out what it is. Good luck, Jason. Thanks for inviting me to read. Cool. All right, I'm going to give these a toss. And then next up, it's Namira Ninholland. Ninholland. Here we go. How about a fun, helpful message for Namira, who likes my photography? Thanks, Namira. Appreciate it very much. I've been accumulating quite a collection since I got a phone that took pictures. Here we go. How about a fun, helpful message for our friend Namira, Ninholland? All right. These cards are for Ninholland. Namira Ninholland. Here we go. These cards are for you. Namira in Holland. A fun, helpful message for our friend Namira in Holland. Thank you. Let's see what happens. Cool. First up, I love it. I think we saw this card earlier, maybe even in the same position. It's the Three of Pentacles. Talks about starting something new with a team, collaboration, learning, implementation, and building something. Then it's that wonderful Empress card. I don't know how well you can see it. I just really like the image on the card. I wonder if I could change light up a little bit here. Because I'm trying to, there we go. That's a little bit better. I'm trying to show you the very pretty pattern on her outfit. Anyway, the Empress card reads abundance, nurturing, fertility, feminine, good parenting. Yeah, you know, maybe you're doing some good parenting. You're building something with your team, your family team there. Could even be your spirit family, your soul family. And then the Page of Swords shows up and says, you've got a new way of communicating, or there is a new way of communicating, and there's new ideas, there's curiosity and a thirst for knowledge. And then there's the Six of Pentacles talking about giving and receiving. You're building something together from the standpoint of doing something good for all of those around you. You know, you're not trying to one-up anybody. You're all curious. You got a new way, a good approach to it, and there's going to be give and take within the unit that you're on. Maybe you're this person right here. Then the Five of Wands shows up and talks about disagreements and conflicts. Also talks about respecting opinions and boundaries and allowing people to be different and to have different ideas. If you live in Holland, you live in a very tolerant country. From what I know and what I remember, I did visit it many years ago. So, you know, again, couldn't life be interesting? Wouldn't it be nice if we could all share our ideas, but we're not actually hurting each other? It looks, let me move my thumb there. It looks more like a pretty dance. Like, you know, you got some dudes who are in a ballet show. There you go. There's some good light. And they get to dance around with these wands. Anyway, it's not really a conflict. It's theater. And then in the theater, someone has to come up from behind Julius Caesar and cause heartache. I don't know, you, Brutus, you ready? That was the Three of Swords. And then the Two of Swords says that a crossroads comes to us. We'll have to make a decision at the end. Even though at the time we're ready to recognize that there is a decision, we may not have all the information. That's why that lady is blindfolded. So we might be waiting. You know, there might be like another series of tarot cards to tell us the information we need, even just one card, obviously. But if it's just going to be one card, you could actually intuit what that card is. You know, if you take a screenshot and you review these cards later, you know, you go Three of Pentacles, Empress, Page of Swords, Six of Pentacles. We were all in a good position there. Then there was a conflict and a heartache, and then this happened. And then you think immediately, what's the next card? Whatever comes to your mind, that might give you a little message. So it's not too hard. It's not too hard to anticipate what the next card is. Anyway, Namir, I hope it was a constructive, helpful, fun message. Yeah, that's right. Tolerance. Right on. Thank you, Nin Holland. I appreciate you inviting me to read. Good luck. And now it's Silent Dreamer. I know the tarot world recognizes Silent Dreamer regardless of what handle she's using in the chat. Heavenly Cups. Well, so I would say like Silent Dreamer, that's pretty rare. You get your reading from Breakaway Ray. Your name is Silent Dreamer. And then I throw tarot cards and your name is on the tarot card. But Heavenly Cups, well, we might end up getting some cups. I don't know if it was all cups. If it's like a flush, then I'd say, yeah, tarot world went out of its way. But anyway, these cards are for Heavenly Cups. Let's have some fun. Let's see how many cups we get for Heavenly Cups. They're all heavenly for Heavenly Cups. All right. Silent Dreamer, Heavenly Cups. A fun, helpful message, please. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. We're all having fun together. Next up, Heavenly Cups. The Six of Pentacles, giving and receiving. The Queen of Swords, who says, you were right. The King of Pentacles, which talks about wealth and leadership and discipline and security and abundance and prosperity. And then the Two of Swords showed up. I know I was shuffling these cards. The Two of Swords talks about difficult decisions, weighing options. So in the process of giving and receiving this partnership that you had, you know, it was the right partnership. You were right about that. It's brought about some wealth. Maybe, I mean, I'm just imagining this. Okay. You know, you've picked out the right stock. Okay. It brought you a little dividend. What are you going to do with it? Well, maybe you invest it. The Ten of Pentacles talks about wealth, financial security, long-term success, family and contribution. Save for a rainy day. Sock it away for that retirement. Yeah. The Nine of Pentacles says fruits of your labor. Sock it away so that you can enjoy the fruits of your labor later when you need it. Take it from somebody who knows. Save for a rainy day, everybody. And then we close with the dramatic Devil card. The Devil card talks about the shadow self and letting go of things. So when you look at the Devil card, the two smaller figures both have chains around their necks, but the chains are not that tight. They could just lift them over their heads and be free of the devil. So anyway, I'm going to... There we go. So I think that no matter what, you'll be able to you'll be able to enjoy the fruits of your labor if you save for that rainy day with whatever this investment is that you came in with. And then, you know, if this guy shows up, it's not going to matter. So anyway, I hope that was a fun one. Thanks, Heavenly Cups. All right. Next up, it's Ascending Universal Butterfly. Right now, Ascending Universal Butterfly, as I shuffle to get you a fun, helpful, inspirational message. As I said your name, the first thing I thought of was a monastery like up in the mountains of Tibet where all the spiritual masters are. That's what I thought of when I said your name just now. And that tends to be the kind of card you get, right? Messages from your master saying this is how you need to develop. I hope I'm not confusing you with somebody else. Anyway, we're going to get you a fun, helpful message, Ascending Universal Butterfly. Sure. Thank you very much for inviting me to read. How about a fun, helpful butterfly, please? Beautiful open-air patio up in the monastery. Everyone wearing colorful robes. And you could see in the panorama around you all the craggy mountains of the Himalayas. This is a fun, inspirational message for Ascending Universal Butterfly. Here we go. We're all getting a message from the tarot world today, everybody. We all need to work together. We all need to build something together. What else does it say on here? Because this is the 18th time we've seen this card today. Teamwork, collaboration, learning, implementation, building something. And then you do see someone in a colorful robe in that picture. Let me move my fingers out of the way. There we go. Then, okay, everybody, you saw me shuffle my cards. It's the Nine of Pentacles, the fruits of your labor. The team is building something, and you really built up something good here. I shuffled the cards. Well, this is a message for all of us, everybody. We're getting the same messages from the tarot world. Now the Ten of Pentacles has shown up again. Wealth, financial security, family, long-term success, contribution. The Ace of Swords. Mental clarity, breakthroughs, new ideas, success, sharp mind, new conflict. Well, when you're talking about a bunch of new ideas like we do at StarCard Podcast, there's going to be a conflict. When we say, what? I didn't know that. But anyway, back to your story, Ascending Universal Butterfly. You've done a lot of teamwork. You're able to enjoy the fruits of your labor. It's bringing you a lot of wealth and a lot of truth. You see the path very clearly. You're having a breakthrough. And at that breakthrough, we're talking about the Hierophant and learning. Are you starting a new PhD program, perhaps? And oh, this card showed up again. The Three of Swords talks about heartache and pain. But again, if we're looking at all these guys, this is what? This is like a black and blue mark that's going to go away in a week or something. This is temporary, isn't it? Because it doesn't even matter. It could be something, really bad. Like I broke my finger. I'm not worried. My mom's going to take me to the hospital. I'll wear a little cast on the finger, a couple of weeks, bing, bang, boom. I drink some milk. I'm good. Okay. Well, if you're on planet Earth and you think there's not going to be pain, you caught the wrong train. So the Four of Swords says, relax, rejuvenate, rest, meditate. I hope that was a fun, helpful message. Thank you very much for letting me read Ascending Universal Butterfly. Thank you, Tarot World, for sending these important messages here, right? Like the network that we make, the relationships that we build with one another, these are the things that are real wealth that help us get past these little bumps in the road. All right, let's give these a shuffle. And now it's time for Tiger Dragon. All right, Tiger Dragon. Let me give these cards a good shuffle. So much tarot magic on the tarot table today. How about a fun message for Tiger Dragon JK? Tarot World, this is fun and exciting. Thank you very much for helping us out today. And whenever people are enjoying this recording, hope they're having a good time. Want to have a good time? Go check out the playlist called Joie de Vivre, all the fun videos over at StarCard Podcast. What this message is for Tiger Dragon JK. How about a fun, helpful message for Tiger Dragon JK, please? Do you want to throw the Three of Pentacles card again? That'd be cool. These cards are for Tiger Dragon JK. A fun, helpful message for Tiger Dragon JK, please. Thank you. Here we go, Tiger Dragon JK. Thanks for inviting me to read. I love the practice. Here I go. This is for you. What a wonderful start. It's a dream come true for you. It's the 10 of Cups. Divine love, harmony, blissful relationships, alignment, inner happiness, fulfillment, dreams come true, family contentment, total love and support. This definitely looks like Sunday morning at the park with the family. Then, all right, the Queen of Wands, she says, have a zest for life. Let's go out and have some fun. Let's do everything all at the same time. Courage, confident, independence, focused, zest for life, determination, joy. Not only are we going to go to the park, let's go down to the beach and have a barbecue. I don't know where you live, but, let's really do it up. The Knight of Swords says, do so energetically, ambitious, action-oriented, driven to succeed, fast thinking, defending beliefs. Makes me think of one of the children in the Kennedy clan, because all those children were gifted, and at the same time they were empathic humanitarians. I'm talking about the 20th century Kennedys. Let's go before 1970s, shall we? I'm talking about the Joe, who was supposed to be president, and then so John stepped up, and then his brother was the Attorney General, Robert. Those are the guys I'm thinking of. Anyway, let's stay on target here. Here's a message for Tiger Dragon JK. You're styling right now. And here's the complex Four of Cups card. Sometimes it looks like there's something missing, but no, you've got it all. Don't forget to be grateful here in November. Remember what Marcus Aurelius tells us. Gratitude is the parent of all virtues. It helps you stay aligned with your soul. And if you're aligned with your soul, you're going to see that gift even more clearly. Because again, you started with a dream come true. And now you're putting icing all over the cake. So you're really doing great. But yeah, maybe you have a sense of I always have to improve it. I'm going to tinker with it, make it even better. That's what you were doing in the first place. Everything always looks like you need to do this to it, right? Anyway, let's keep going. Oh, the Five of Swords. This is a rough card. The Five of Swords card says conflict, disagreements, competition, defeat, winning at all costs, sneakiness, bullies, theft, and abusive relationships. Those are hard messages to hear. I'm going to turn this card upside down a second. How about desire to reconcile, making amends, desire to forgive? Well, you might as well forgive because you got so much good going on. You might as well just, you know what? If people got their problems, I'm not going to go chase down some dude who's got road rage. That guy's got stuff to sort out. I'm going to forgive and move on because I got a good thing going on. I'm remembering what the universe has given me. Yeah, and the High Priestess says that you recognize this intuitively. You have a strong sense of intuition. And let's read more about the magical High Priestess. Intuition, sacred knowledge, the subconscious, divine feminine, trust yourself. That might be the main message here. Yeah, does this stuff happen sometimes? Yeah, just trust yourself. How many times has someone done something like that in the past and now you don't even think about that person anymore? I challenge everybody to think about someone who, cut you off in traffic or something, or bumped you on the subway. Really? When was the last time you actually thought about that? You had to work extra hard just to think about a time when someone annoyed you. I bet that makes you laugh right now, how you channeled your energy towards something silly like that. But that's the whole deal. Trust yourself. Because again, you got the spirit world supporting you, sending you magic. You're capitalizing on it in the right way. I think I'm getting carried away. Let's just get right to the last card here. Yay. We were talking about intuition. It's the moon. Follow your instinct. Follow your gut feeling. You know what's going on. Tiger Dragon JK. Thanks for inviting me to read. I hope it was fun and interesting. All right. Hey, very good, Tiger Dragon JK. I appreciate your participation. Okay, so I only see so much of the chat, everybody. So if there's anyone else out there who wants a reading, drop it in now. Otherwise, it looks like we'll be closing up shop. Okay, well, in that case, we had a wonderful morning. We had great messages from the tarot world. I tend not to come out on Mondays, right? But you're all set for the week. We did your tarotlogical forecast. That was at the front of the show. And then, I do like to come out during the week, but Mondays, sometimes I just don't. I'm just helping you with your own programming, everybody. I want to thank everyone for their participation in the chat. If you actually want a reading and you can't wait, my email address is in the description. So you can check me out in email and be very happy to do it. I'm not charging anybody for anything. If it helps you, that's probably all the payment I need. If I can help you out, that's great. I don't know who you are, but I'm happy to help. Everyone have a great day out there, okay? Thank you very much. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. All right.